So, we're back again today for STEM time with Millie. And we've met some of our garden helpers. Don't jump. There's a there's a big black cat that likes to cross through my yard, and we do not want Millie to be in danger. So you can investigate the table, but nothing else. So we've made the acquaintance of the worms, and we all know about the snails. So I think we're going to continue on today with more with our caterpillars. And I've got them out, and we're going to put Millie away for safety because I love her. We don't want her to get chased by the neighbor's cat. That would not be good. So here we are with our story. It is called from the Now I Know series. Look, a butterfly. This book is probably might be older than some of your parents. Look, a Butterfly, written by David Cutts and illustrated by Elula Connor. Butterflies are beautiful. There are many kinds of butterflies of many different colors. Right, there's purple ones and yellow ones, pink ones, blues, browns, oranges, yellows. But when butterflies are young, they look very different. That's a baby butterfly. Butterflies lay eggs. Inside, something is growing. Caterpillars crawl out of the eggs. The caterpillars start eating the leaves. Some caterpillars are smooth. Some, like the ones we have, are bumpy or hairy. Right? So some are smooth, and we've got hairy caterpillars. A caterpillar eats and eats and eats and eats. It grows bigger and bigger. At last, the caterpillar stops eating, and it starts to change. So look, first it hangs upside down, and then its skin starts to get hard, and it almost looks like it starts to peel off, but it really just sort of forms this hard protective armor. It goes from being squishy and hairy to being sort of smooth and hard. This hard shell starts to form, and inside the shell, the caterpillar is becoming a butterfly. So all that change is going on inside this. This is called a chrysalis if it's a butterfly. If it's a moth, it's made slightly differently, and it's called a cocoon. Crack. Now what is happening? Something is coming out of the shell. It is a butterfly. After a while, the butterfly spreads its wings and flies away. This is a monarch butterfly. It is orange and black. This is a swallowtail butterfly. It is brown and yellow. This is a sulfur butterfly. And this is a cabbage butterfly. Butterflies love flowers. They get their food from flowers. All day long, butterflies go from flower to flower. It is fun to watch them fly. And I'm very lucky with my garden. Once we get a lot of flowers blooming, we get a lot of different kinds of butterflies. So, if you see a caterpillar crawling, remember, someday it may become a beautiful butterfly. And that's the end. Now, our caterpillar. Okay, so all caterpillars and butterflies go through something called metamorphosis. So some insects, when they're born, they look just like they look when they're grown-ups. Some need to go through this change called metamorphosis, and we're going to meet, like worms, they don't go through metamorphosis. They look just like little tiny baby worms when they're born, right? Remember when we read Bob and Otto? So the worm always looked like a worm, but the caterpillar goes through a change, and that change is called metamorphosis. And so what happens is we have the grown-up, who's the adult, the butterfly, who lays an egg. The egg, out of the egg, hatches a caterpillar. Then the caterpillar goes through this change called metamorphosis, and that's when they're in a chrysalis or in a pupa. That's where we're waiting. We're here right now. We're waiting for this to happen. And then out of this comes the grown-up. And it goes round and round and round. That's the life cycle. So there's an oldie but a goodie. And it always helped me remember the life cycle. And it goes like this. First comes the butterfly who lays an egg. Out pops the caterpillar with many legs. Oh, see the caterpillar split and spin, a little chrysalis to sleep in. Oh, 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 look and see. Oh, 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 look and see. Out of the chrysalis, my, oh my, grows a beautiful butterfly. So these are our painted lady models, and we're going to use them throughout. And like I said, today we're looking at our caterpillar stage. So if you think of the egg as being first, then we're in stage 2 right now. Now, I've had these caterpillars at my house. They came in the mail a couple days ago, and they've been eating and growing very quickly. I'm going to cut into what they look. I'll put the video in. So you saw how skinny and tiny they were when they first joined up. Those were those first photos. And here's how they look after a couple of days of eating their food. Now, caterpillars and butterflies are sort of fussy. They each have a special kind of plant that they like to eat the best of all, and we call that their host plant. So it might be a different herb, or it might be a different flower, but they tend to be a little bit fussy. So, like, for example, if you want to have monarch butterflies in your garden, you're going to have to plant milkweed. If you're going to want cabbage whites, you're going to have to plant lettuce and cabbage. If you're going to want, you know, different butterflies like different things. Mulberry is a one, or they'll all come and drink from all the flowers, but if you want them to lay their eggs, they need to have their special host plant. So here's one. You can see this one is pretty active. I wonder if that's the one who met our worm the other day. And you can see these guys down in here. They're eating. They're nibbling and they're eating and growing and they're getting bigger and bigger. And I will know that it's time to, that they're going to go into their chrysalis when they attach themselves onto this piece of cloth. They'll hang upside down and their shell, their squishy body will turn into a soft, their squishy body won't be soft anymore. It'll squish, it'll turn into sort of a hard shell. And inside, their body is going to go through changes. They're going to grow their wings and they're going to change color. And that's all part of their metamorphosis. We're going to be using that word a lot as we talk about our ladybugs and as we talk about our praying mantises, because praying mantises don't go through metamorphosis. They're born looking like their parents. But ladybugs and butterflies, they do go through metamorphosis. So we'll take a look at these guys. See if I can get him to crawl on my finger. When I was a kid, this was one of my favorite things to do. Go out and catch bugs. I was convinced I would trap enough to make like a bug zoo, and I would make $1 million taking it on the road, showing people all about insects. Isn't that funny? Pretty much what I'm doing today. So now you can see different caterpillars have different defenses. These caterpillars are painted lady caterpillars. They are fuzzy, and the reason why they have these fuzzies is because if a bird or some other kind of animal picks them up to eat them, all of those prickles and fuzzies will make the animal want to spit them out, right? Yuck, you don't want to eat anything prickly that looks like a cactus. Other caterpillars, let me see if I can find it in the book, are brightly colored. Oh, and we know anything that's brightly colored means stay away, don't eat me. So some are poisonous, and these guys aren't poisonous. These guys are, they have their defenses on the outside. So we will clip in. Let me put this guy back gently. Come on, Fuzzface, let's go. Ah, come on. Oh, all right. Well, that's going to be easy. Look how well behaved he is. Or she. We're just going to plop you right in there. We'll put the lid on tight so they don't go crawling off. And we'll clip in and we'll add caterpillar to our garden journal. And caterpillars, some gardeners don't really like them that much because they do eat plants. They do eat the leaves of your herbs and your flowers. But my solution is just plant extra, right? Plant some for you and plant some for nature. So that way, if they do eat a little bit of your parsley or your whatever, there you still have enough. So we did our worm. Today we're going to do caterpillar. And painted ladies grow up to look like this. They mimic the monarch. A lot of people think that this is a monarch, but it is not. they use looking like a monarch to keep them safe in nature, because monarchs are poisonous and painted ladies aren't. So they are tricky. They color themselves to look like something dangerous, and then all the birds leave them alone. So this is the grown-up, but we're going to sketch the baby that comes out of the egg, the caterpillar. So for this one, it's pretty easy. All you need is your brown and black crayon. They do have a little bit of gray and white. And so I'm gonna give the head. They do have a head. And they do have eyes, although, and they have this little jaw thing called a mandible. And then they've got their squishy body. And we'll color that black. And then they have extra feet. So they're interesting. So when they're babies, all grown-up insects have 6 legs, but caterpillars have fake legs. So they have their 6 legs up top. That's what they keep with them when they turn into a grown-up. And then they have like extra sort of sucker legs that help them climb and hang upside down. Those disappear when they go through metamorphosis. So they don't always look the same. When they come out of their chrysalis, these extra legs are going to be gone, and they're only going to have these 6 up at the top. So we know that these guys have sort of, they look sharp, but really when I touched it, it just felt like Velcro. So they've got these sort of like Velcro hairs, and that keeps the birds from wanting to eat them. So this is our painted lady caterpillar. You can make caterpillars any color. Every different kind of butterfly has a different kind of caterpillar. So if you get to be an expert entomologist and you learn what the baby looks like, you'll know what kind of grown-up is going to come from it. So we know that caterpillars are herbivores. So we're going to give them some painted ladies like parsley, which is an herb. I have a lot of it growing in my garden, so I tend to get a lot of butterflies. We'll put these guys on there. And then we're going to pick up our crayon, and we're going to spell caterpillar. Now, caterpillar has a very famous word hidden in it. Does anybody know how to spell cat? Right? Cat is C-A-T. And there's a cat in caterpillar. So cat, that's Now we need pillar, P, I, pill, L. There's 2 of them. Pillar. Oh, whoops. AR. Occupational hazard. Caterpillar. Right? It's got a bossy A in there. All right. And so we will say goodbye to our caterpillars. See, you could see how they're going up towards the top? So maybe in a day or 2, they will be into their 3rd stage of metamorphosis. All right, we'll say goodbye to Millie, and that's what the garden looks like today. Oh, look, we're talking about garden helpers. I've got bumblebee. That's a pollinator that's going to go from flower to flower and make the flowers grow. So we've got some other things coming up. We'll say goodbye to Millie. All right. Come give him a boop. Say bye, guys. What, you're tired? You work too much? Mwah. Bye-bye.